when they told me about Barbara. She was 93 years old. Paul Mooney has said that he caught Barbara Walters with Richard Pryor.
You told Joy Behar on The View that Barbara Walters had hooked up with Richard.
I didn't say you told me.
No, you didn't, but she said something like, so you're schlepping Richard Pryor, huh? And I told her everything, and as soon as Barbara walked in the next day, Joy goes, oh, you're schlepping Richard Pryor. On her last day when she left the show, she was waiting for the elevator, and I went to her to hug her. Barbara Walters opened the door for countless women in television and journalism.
Barbara Walters' alleged romantic liaison with Richard Pryor. Sherri Shepherd, a former co-host of The View, recently shared a surprising revelation during a reunion with her former colleague, Joy Behar. Shepherd claimed that Barbara Walters, the late journalist, had a romantic involvement with comedian Richard Pryor. During their discussion, Shepherd explained how Behar appreciated the fact.
You told Joy Behar on The View that Barbara Walters had hooked up with Richard.
Slept with Richard Pryor?
Yes, that's what Paul Mooney said. And I came back, and I was like, Joy,
guess what?
I had the privilege of sitting next to Barbara Walters for 7 years on The View.
That Shepherd wasn't afraid of Walters and was willing to share private gossip with her. Shepherd recalled how she confided in Behar about a rumor she had heard involving Barbara Walters and Richard Pryor. Shepherd said, I came back and I was like, Joy, guess what? When you talk like that, you know it's don't tell nobody. I came and I told you, and I said, Paul Mooney said he caught Barbara with Richard Pryor. He walked in on them, and then I was like, don't tell nobody. Joy Behar confirmed the rumor by acknowledging that they had slept together, at least according to Paul Mooney's claim. Shepherd was surprised that Behar seemed to have forgotten the revelation and shared an amusing anecdote about how Barbara Walters reacted when confronted with the rumor. Shepherd recounted, the next day Barbara walks in and you go, so you're schlepping Richard Pryor, huh? She turned around and you know Barbara's head would swivel like that. She goes, who told you that? I'm sitting there like I just got this job.
She was a television icon. She broke barriers as the first woman to anchor the news in 1976. And I told her everything, and as soon as Barbara walked in the next day, Joy goes, oh, you're schlepping Richard Pryor.
I didn't say you told me.
No, you didn't, but she said something like, so you're schlepping Richard Pryor, huh?
Behar eventually dropped the coy act and humorously discussed Walters' preferences in men, mentioning that Barbara had an affinity for African-American men. Shepherd chimed in, you used to always say Barbara loved a chocolate man. Shepherd continued to share insights into Walters' fondness for former Secretary of State Colin Powell and how she would openly express her admiration when Powell appeared on the show. Behar confirmed, it's true, she did. She loved her brother. This revelation provided an intriguing glimpse into the personal life of the iconic Barbara Walters, shedding light on a previously undisclosed chapter of her romantic history. Sherri Shepherd's revelation. Sherri Shepherd, the former co-host of The View, recently shared an intriguing revelation about a rumored romantic liaison between the iconic journalist Barbara Walters and the legendary comedian Richard Pryor. This revelation led to some nervous moments on the set of The View, but ultimately provided insight into the complexities of Walters' personal life.
On her last day when she left the show, she was waiting for the elevator, and I went to her to hug her. And he said that Richard Pryor and Barbara Walters were intimate about Barbara Walters passing. And I tell you, it hit me, it was like a thud in my heart.
Sherri Shepherd revealed the alleged affair between Barbara Walters and Richard Pryor during a recent episode of her talk show, Sherri. Shepherd recounted how she had initially heard the rumor from the late comedian Paul Mooney. According to her account, Mooney had informed her that he had personally witnessed the intimate encounter between Walters and Pryor. During the conversation on Sherri, Shepherd shared the details of the rumor with her former co-host Joy Behar. Shepherd, who was not shy about the gossip, expressed concern that her candid disclosure might lead to her dismissal from the show. She remembered thinking, I just got the job, like I'm going to get fired.
You liked it that I was scared of Barbara Walters.
Well,
you used to laugh. And the thing about it is I would tell you stuff, and then you would go and tell it.
Joy Behar, however, maintained discretion and did not reveal Shepherd's source or the rumor to Barbara Walters when she inquired about it. Behar's loyalty to her colleague in the face of potential controversy highlighted the bond between the co-hosts. Shepherd's revelation about Walters and Pryor was not the only romantic aspect of Barbara Walters' life that was discussed during the conversation. Behar and Shepherd also shared that Barbara had a fondness for African American men, which included an alleged affair with former Massachusetts Senator Edward Brooke. Additionally, they claimed that Walters had a flirtatious relationship with former Secretary of State Colin Powell. Barbara Walters, who passed away in 2022 at the age of 93, left an indelible mark on the world of journalism and television. Her legendary career spanned decades.
And Barbara was undeterred that she fought to put both of us at the table. Turned around and, Barbara's head was swivel like that, and she goes, "Who told you that?"
And did she rat you out?
No, Joy never ratted me out.
That's
I still
good.
don't tell enough.
Okay.
And so to Barbara leaving that legacy, but I went on The View last week with all of the women.
And she was known for her groundbreaking interviews with world leaders and celebrities. Despite the iconic status Walters achieved, Shepherd's revelation offers a unique perspective on the more private aspects of her life. After Walters' passing, Sherri Shepherd fondly remembered her late co-host's bawdy sense of humor. Shepherd recalled how she and Walters had no reservations about discussing topics related to intimacy and relationships. Barbara Walters' openness and her ability to provide advice on various subjects made her a beloved figure among her colleagues. Following Barbara Walters' passing, several of her former co-hosts from The View and other media personalities paid tribute to the journalistic icon. Sherri Shepherd honored Walters as a teacher, mother, and friend on her Instagram account, thanking her for the opportunity to co-host the show. In summary, Sherri Shepherd's revelation about Barbara Walters and Richard Pryor's alleged affair adds a unique layer to the legacy of the iconic journalist. It highlights the complexities of Walters' personal life.
I looked and he said he walked in or he peeked through the door. And Barbara called me into her office and she said, "Why didn't you say anything?" Paul Mooney has said that he caught Barbara Walters with Richard Pryor. Joy, you do that because you're not scared of Barbara.
While also showcasing the strong bonds between colleagues on shows like The View. Despite the potential for controversy, Joy Behar's Discretion demonstrated the loyalty and support that characterized the relationships among the co-hosts of the show. Barbara Walters' humor, openness, and career accomplishments continue to be celebrated and remembered by her peers and fans. Fear of being fired. Sherri Shepherd, former co-host of The View, recently shared her concerns about being fired from the show after revealing a rumor about an alleged romantic involvement between show creator Barbara Walters and comedian Richard Pryor. She spoke about this incident during an appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. Shepherd shared this information with her co-host Joy Behar, urging her to keep it a secret. However, the following day, when Barbara Walters entered the scene, Joy Behar couldn't resist making a humorous comment about the rumor, which led Shepherd to fear for her job. Shepherd candidly expressed her feelings, stating that she had just obtained the job and was worried about being fired. Joy Behar, however, didn't reveal Shepherd as the source of the rumor when Barbara Walters inquired about it. Behar's discretion and loyalty to her co-host underscored the camaraderie among The View hosts.
Because Barbara was so tough on me, but I realized it's because she loved me so much and she wanted me to be better. Paul Mooney, late Paul Mooney, we were talking and he said, when they told me about Barbara, she was 93 years old.
Sherri Shepherd emphasized how Joy Behar never ratted her out, and that act of loyalty solidified the trust and confidentiality among the co-hosts. Following this incident, Shepherd humorously mentioned that she stopped sharing secrets with Behar to prevent any further breaches of privacy. Sherri Shepherd had initially heard about the rumor from Paul Mooney, a well-known comedian who co-wrote Richard Pryor's biographical film, JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. According to Shepherd, Paul Mooney conveyed that he had walked in or peeked through a door and witnessed an intimate moment between Richard Pryor and Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters, the creator of The View, co-hosted the show from 1997 until her departure in 2014. Richard Pryor, a legendary comedian, actor, and writer, was known for his stand-up comedy and films. He won 5 Grammy Awards throughout his career for his comedy albums. Richard Pryor passed away in 2005 at the age of 65. Barbara Walters, a trailblazing journalist and television personality, had a significant impact on the field of broadcasting. She broke barriers for women in journalism and conducted numerous high-profile interviews during her career.
And I said, "Barbara, where'd you get that?" And she said, "I didn't get that. I procured it." And I was was like, I just got the job. Like, I'm gonna get fired. And so I was like,
Barbara admit?
Barbara Walters opened the door for countless women in television and journalism.
Following her passing, Sherri Shepherd, like many others, paid tribute to her mentor's legacy. Shepherd mentioned how Barbara Walters encouraged her to speak up and never accept no for an answer, emphasizing the profound influence Walters had on her personal and professional growth. Shepherd shared stories of Barbara Walters' interactions with her son Jeffrey, highlighting the warm and nurturing side of the legendary journalist. The enduring legacy of Barbara Walters lives on through her contributions to journalism and her mentorship of future talents in the industry. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.